Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly, and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. This is Laughing Stock. I'm alone today. Ranger Dane, he couldn't make it this weekend, unfortunately, but I've been in touch with him. He has been doing a more testing on his method, and there's been a bit up and down this week, you know, for the market. So the results have been a bit up and down from what I understood. Same with me. I've actually positioned myself back into the market. I've been fully invested this week a couple of times, and then I've been also stopped out on a few positions. I took a hit on this pullback day here, but I jumped in on Tuesday, right? I thought that looked really promising all of a sudden, and then it started well on Wednesday as well. And I thought, okay, here we go, another clear breakout here, but it reversed. And actually, in hindsight, then it actually hit the line here perfectly, right? And as you can see, multiple times within this base, it's going up into that line, and it just reverses. So hopefully it just reversed back to here and is now up against it again. And, you know, hopefully this coming week we can get a clear breakout here. I've seen some people draw the lines like this, and in that case you are in a breakout already, I guess. But who cares how you draw the lines, right? It's just like we need some follow through. That's the thing. But also, if you look at the volume profile down here, it's all been like I'm using like a pocket. How do you call it? Like a pivot pocket, or the other way around, pocket. Who cares? No one cares about anything, right? I can say whatever I want on the stream. And this guy TA Plot, he has made it. It says here pocket pivots. Thank you, pocket pivots. So they are called basically when there's a red or dark gray colors, that's, you know, selling volume, heavily selling volume when it goes red, and the opposite, blue and green and light gray, are buying, and they are based on like the last days. That's how it decides the color. So it's all relative to the past near-term history here, you know. But it doesn't matter. The point is, you can see it has gone from pretty negative to a couple of green here now. So you saw the same happen when we were in the base in last year, you know. Everything is almost red, and then it turns around and you get this period here where you have, you know, different color in the volume. So maybe we are now on the verge of breaking out again, and we can go on another bull run. That would be very good, and something I hope for. And then, you know, in that transitional phase, in terms of my own data, and then that's what I have been looking at, my performance in this phase. It was here around 8th of April. The positions I took then have outperformed massively in terms of my new market indicator and the colors like red, orange, and green. So Link turned orange this week multiple times. It went back to red, and then now it's orange again. And it's at that point where that can happen multiple times. It's going to change probably more. But it also, if it continues, you know, ultimately it's going to change to green. But it's in the orange period, which is now, that I want to go heavily in, and just try actually to, as quick as I can, get fully invested and position myself well, because that period from last time just crushes all the performance I have so far this year. So I have tried a few positions. I got stopped on most of them. I re-entered in some of them. I got stopped again. So this week has pretty much been flat for me, I guess. But also a bit of a crazy day on Friday. It went all over the place, up and down, and in the end it finished pretty strong. And there are more groups now. I've noticed more groups. That's actually what I'm planning for the stream today, to do some of the work I do off screen, to do it on screen today on the stream, so I can I'm planning to go through heaps of charts and to try to spot for groups that I haven't been able to find in my scans, just to see if there's some opportunity there, because there's also some interesting, I've seen some interesting comments, like we all are taught to look for relative strength, and especially in a period where market turns sideways and even go bearish a little bit, like it has now. And I subscribe to that idea and thinking, you know, I'm that's what I'm doing. But I also think it's good to always challenge these ideas that everyone agrees on. And I saw some people were saying, like, who cares about relative strength? My research and my deep dives into charts and stocks have showed that stocks who are beaten down properly and then breaks clearly out are where their big winners are. And yeah, of course, that's what we looked for in deep value, right? Charts that looked like shit, but the fundamentals were great. And this is also true, right? But to go into something on the bottom there, you also need to look for a setup, and I don't have that setup yet. I'm assuming that the guy who did the deep dive has, but I thought it was interesting because both things can be true and still exist in the same time, you know. So it's just I want to see things, because what led me into that idea was I tried the red wire the other day, and it was a disaster, and it made it even a more disaster that if I just held on to the position, I would be up almost, I don't know, my entry was a bit high, I would be up 13%, you know, in 2 days. I saw the volume, I saw the earnings report. It wasn't too bad. I saw a lot of, not a lot, but I saw a few of these aerospace and defense names. They have actually, like that, been beaten down a little bit, you know, 70% from the top here. And then you have a clear breakout, and you have volume coming in, and you see the group moves together. I can show you after when I open up the group. But the move starts, the group starts to move together. This is just gapping up above some of the key moving averages here, you know. And the earnings report wasn't all bad. They talked about some things that were positive as well. So I thought I should try it, but if we go back to this day and open the intraday chart, my timing was bad because I took it after, which I thought, like, this candle looked interesting to me, like a indicator of things pulling back, you know. So I bought it on this candle here, and then straight away, you know, it was down. My entry was high up. My entry was here. So straight away, I'm like, the minute after I opened the position, I'm down 3.5%. So I'm panicking a bit, you know, and I'm just holding on to it. I broke the rules. Usually I'm selling out, but it went so fast. I was at another computer. I didn't have the overview. I couldn't react so quick. So I just decided to hold on to it to see if it can come back to closer to my entry point. And as soon as I was within the range that I was happy to do it, I was so exhausted, so I sold out, right? Which is, in hindsight, a big mistake. I sold here, 11.74. I sold here. And then, of course, it continued. It did bounce back below that level as well. And, you know, it went sideways. But the next day, it's up 14.5%. And I would have made money. So the thinking was good. The execution and timing was terrible. I lost money instead of gaining some quick percentage here. It's not bad luck, it's terrible execution, and I wasn't in the right mindset at that time, but that made me a bit curious to see I've seen, I will show you later in the aerospace and defense group, there's a lot of charts looking like this now. At the same time, that's just natural because the QQQ looks like this, you know. But at the same time, that is a group that is now, it has clearly some momentum, right? But these stocks are not showing up in my scans yet because they are not. They are in the beginning here, you know. So it hasn't showed up in the scans yet. But you can manually find them by going through your lists. And I guess if you zoom out a bit, I don't know. Chart in general maybe doesn't look the best, but if you want to get in early, maybe this is a group. It has gone in the past, right? Done really well, so maybe this can deliver. But the ones I got into was CrowdStrike. I went into MicroStrategy, and the thinking is I kind of like the base here, and at the same time I think I took it here or here, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was really happy with it on Friday, but it pulled back and came back up again, so it was a bit all over the place. But the plan is, my thinking was, it wasn't this day, right? No, sorry, it was on this day. So Wednesday, I think I took it. Plan is that the Bitcoin started to move above some of the key moving averages. And there is a clear bottom here. I'm not saying that it won't break it again. But, you know, in this period here, let me check. In this period... here was in this period here, I made 30% or something on MicroStrategy. So my thinking was that it looked a little bit similar and hopefully can come up a little bit and start to move upwards. And I kind of like the look of it today, but the weekends doesn't matter so much, you know. So let's see. But if Bitcoin, and I saw also Coinbase did a little bit of the same thing, you know, started to move a bit, but I don't know. it's not a great look here, but I wanted to. I'm up on the position so far, so I wanted to test it again. PANW was another one. If you look at the charts for CrowdStrike and PANW and a lot of other names, they look very similar. I think these are the ones that looks strongest, together with FTNT, which I also tried, but I got stopped on 2 times. Because I entered these on Tuesday, all of them, and I got stopped on Thursday. No, sorry, on CrowdStrike, I didn't get stopped. I got stopped on FTNT and PANW, and also OKTA. I got stopped on. They all look very similar, right? FTNT is probably worth trying again if you can find, if you have a clear pullback entry here, together with the 21 EMA and the anchored VWAP from the previous high, you have a clear, it touched that perfectly, right? So this is one stock I can enter again, I think, this coming week. And the last one was MRVL on a pullback buy, and I noticed a lot of stocks now, they had kind of like a bit of a fall, bounce back, and it took out the bottom and reversed again on a little bit of volume coming in as well. So I saw this gap up on MRVL, and it kind of went sideways a little bit in an area where the moving averages are getting a little bit knitted together, you know. So when it bounced down here or fell down here and found like some support on the 9 EMA, I managed to get in on a pullback buy. But I got stopped on it first because I took it on a breakout buy here in the very beginning of the session. It went up a lot. You can see it here. So first I took it like here, I assume, and then I got stopped on it, and then I tried it later in the day here on a pullback, which I assume it was this candle, which ended up being so far positive. And I have to say, like, I saw a few stocks on Friday closing the day very strong, good amount of volume coming in, so that made me a bit hopeful for the coming week. So these are my current positions, and that's almost fully invested for me. I can probably afford one more position, but I'm also I can get stopped out on Monday on all of these because my cushion is not that high. So that's something that can happen. Fastly, I think I have to accept that Fastly they have run a little bit away from me. I tried to take it down here, but now they had the earnings and it dropped, and my plan was to see if I could get it back in close to the 9 EMA, but then now it has 2 days, very similar days like this. So I don't know. I think it will perform well. I'm just struggling a little bit to find a good entry here. HPE is still a strong looking chart. What I will say though is that it did. I changed my line a little bit because I had it like this. This was the breakout day in that, and you see it got some volume, but it didn't get even 100 in our volume, which was disappointing. And then there was no follow through at all. It pulled back even. So now maybe I was thinking like I'm gonna draw my line like this, and I just want a clear action. I want something like drastic move up here before I try it again, and maybe you will get that on this coming week. There's a lot of charts now looking like this as well. I will show you later, but this is one I'm very interested in. OKTA, same with the PANW and CrowdStrike, right? They are similar looking. They also did pullback, preferably like with FTNT. You can get a pullback back into the moving averages and try to get an entry down in base, which I think I will try to on one of these. But let's see. I'm also interested in HP and DELL. So and DELL, by the way, DELL. Look at how fantastic. You have two chances. Because also I was in DELL. I've been in DELL a few times now. I took them. I at least I took them here. Same with DELL as in HP. It didn't have a clear. It didn't have a violent breakout, and it didn't have any follow through at all. It came back down in the base, but then when it came down in base, you can take it here on a pullback. And also here was a fantastic chance, right? I had it, but at the time I was fully invested, so I couldn't do anything. But this is the one I would buy if I had some funds available at the time. But this was just a clear pullback entry, and I think DELL will come. It will break out properly. But then I'm gonna treat it same with HP. It needs like a clear breakout from here. I think DELL is better looking than HP. Then I had ALAB, which I'm gonna keep on the list because look at all these moving averages together, and a little bit same with MRVL. It has some volume. It's finished with the earnings, came back into the moving averages again, and then when all of these are together, this is a perfect potential pullback buy spot, you know. So high ADR stock, something I will keep an eye on. RLA, just like you want a clear breakout. Earnings is finished. Same here, pull back and it got back up. And now I want to see a clear breakout. Teradyne, just like forming a base, very loose though, so I'm not too interested in this. Fuel cell the same. TSM, I'm gonna delete them. MU, a little bit similar to ALAB, but I'm not sure. Historically, a strong name that you kind of want to be in, but this group is I have to say though, in the scans now, you know, I have my scout thing, and biotech is the group where they in my strong scans they find most biotech stocks. Then they have software, infrastructure, semiconductor have actually come up again from being a little bit lower, so they are back in business a little bit, you know. Then you have software, application, aerospace and defense, actually now 7 names. So what I said about Redwire is true then. Finally they have jumped into the scans as well. I didn't see that until now. And then you have some, you know, some lesser one, but these are the groups that you kind of want to be in now. And I also saw Lenovo. I found them manually outside of my scans and all that. Look at how similar they are to DELL and HP. And Lenovo actually got the clear breakout, not on heavy volume, but they have also earnings in 4 days. But I was just thinking, maybe when you saw this on Friday, the same will happen on HP or DELL soon, hopefully. Because they tend to move together, you know, but maybe also this was the breakout that DELL and HP had here, and Lenovo will come back down into the base again. But I like this chart. This was like a clear, clean breakout. So my thinking was to keep an eye on it and see what DELL and HP can do on Monday. So that's my current list before I've done the scans actually. So now I'm gonna do the scans and then we will see how much time I'm spending on everything. But I will try to just go through some work today. I'm just gonna upload my my lists now and quickly go through them. I will quickly do this because I know a lot of these names from before, and when you do this every day, you know, you start to get familiarized with the tickers. AXTI, just clean breakout here from downtrend. This is what the guy was saying, you know, beaten down stock. It's down 75% almost from the highs here. And then a big gap up after the earnings report. Struggles a bit, it's all over the place, and then you just get a clear breakout again. So from the gap up, if you count from the low here, not the low but the close, I mean, it's 50% already. Voyage on Voyager Technologies, aerospace and defense finally have. This wasn't in my scans before. Look at the red wire and this one. It's clear, right? It's coming. This is what that's what I can't speak now. That's what my thinking was with red wire. I saw this happening, and I just felt the momentum has come back here. Look what it did in April, May, you know, and even in the beginning of the year. These were the strong groups. So you know what they can do. Team earnings gap. I think team is on my. No, it's not. I'm gonna put it back on the list. AAOI looks strong, like a lot of the same charts now. Core, another one. Wolf have earnings soon though, so bit. I'm just gonna wait to see what they report. Oh no, are we back into are we back into like the car situation or what? Well, I'm actually gonna put them on the list just to monitor. I also saw some like some minerals. This is a gold stock, but some mining and you know, material and mineral stocks are showing some strength again. Here's another one. Fly, see, same as Redwire. They also have earnings. I'm gonna put them on the list track. And just because I ignore some of these strong looking charts doesn't mean that I don't like them. I just know that they are on my list from before. But I can tell you already that the one group now that is growing in my list is for sure aerospace and defense, which is what I saw with Redwire. You know, I just messed it up. So that's a bit annoying. Now probably I have to wait until they consolidate a bit and start to build some bases. Look here, they all act the same. Interesting, Ion Q is coming back a bit too. So that was the 1 month. We do the 3 months next. And then I'm doing the 6 month one, and then the 5 day one, just to check the week as well. But I have to say, I kind of like a lot of these actions. What I will say later though, and we can see later if I manage to go through everything that I planned today. Look at this one, another one where you have a chance to do a pullback buy into some of these moving averages. So this is going to maybe I will add it to the today list later. But what I was going to say is like I'm seeing a little bit of like I touched on it earlier with the lack of follow through in some of those good looking charts like DELL and HP. From a clear breakout perspective, if you bought them on a pullback, you're probably really happy already, But you can argue like you're seeing a little bit of lack of leadership in these groups, which is the only thing that I think is a bit worrying now. Like you want someone to just drag the group upwards, and that's one thing I'm looking at in my study now, which I'm still doing. I got my AI to create a big database for me with stocks that had gone up a lot within a year, and then it grouped it together with similar stocks, but it had a little bit of a mistake in how it did it in terms of if the charts were identical or not. So now I'm just going through everything manually, and I have to look at all the charts and find charts that are similar to the ones that I was looking at, So I'm now just getting heaps of groups together that are in the same group and also in the same like chart theme, the chart like HP and Dell and Lenovo and all of them now look very similar, That's what I want to see. And in my study, there's like you can find a lot of similar looking charts, and some of them are like the difference in market cap is huge in some of them. But the real skill then is to find a leader in the group, because the leader in the group are outperforming massively almost everything. You get some exceptions where everything is doing well, like semiconductors now. That was one group that a lot of them did fairly well, But even there, if you pick the top one, it outperformed the rest, right? So when you find a group, you need to dive in a little bit more and try to see which one you think will lead and outperform the group, and drag the group, you know. And everyone talks about leaders, you know, but in my study of going back and group everything together and with the chart themes and everything, it just becomes super clear that you will miss out on great performance if you go in the right group but the wrong stock. You will still be positive because that stock will also perform well, but you could have done much better. So that's also one thing I've reflected on in, like, when I see a group, should you take multiple positions amongst the stocks in that group? And I think you should then, because you improve your chances to hit the home run on the leader, you know, by spreading your bet out on the thing. But then it becomes a question of how much percentage of your total you should have in the same group. But right now, I said on stream a while back, like, back then I was struggling to see like a lot of groups moving together, but now they are a little bit more apparent to me. And right now I'm mostly focusing on the cybersecurity stuff, you know, and software. And that's where I wanted to place my bets. But I got stopped. At some point I had like four out of 5 stocks in my portfolio was in that space. But I got stopped on a few of them, so now I'm just in the one I showed you earlier. So that is interesting. Like, you can identify all of this, but you still need to find the leader. ARM, my favorite stock for the year, coming back. I have to put it back on the list. ARM. Talk about putting your emotions to the side. Cannot with ARM. ARM has been my best performer and my second best performer for the year. Great stock. Intel, put them back on the list. Yeah, and then I'm just doing the 5-day, like what moved on the week. And you can see like a lot of the aerospace and defense stocks are here as well. I really like the move in aerospace and defense. I think another one. Like DJ Khaled, right? Another one. AV. Yeah, so that's my scans. Now I just I like to like clean up the lists here. Just gonna delete, and then I need to sort. I actually added a fair bit here now. I'm just gonna sort them into the right category. So I'm gonna try to be quick with it, but I don't remember always. I think all of these was aerospace and defense. And all of a sudden that group is has grown, right? And they all look similar. Look, all of them, they have followed the market, right? nothing surprising there. Voyager has done with the earnings, volume coming in. From the bottom, it's up 84%. So maybe that's the leader in this group so far, you know. The other ones fly here. They are not finished with the earnings. Lunar the same, Rocket Lab the same. This one they are finished, but this one seems a little bit different. AVAV also finished. Now you maybe you want to look for the volume, right? Redwire same. They are also finished with the earnings. Momentum is coming in, but I think this is not a good looking chart, but you can see the momentum coming in here. Let's say now it continues up a little bit and then goes sideways, and you see that happens in the entire group. Then you can try to spot who do you think is the leader. Take a little bit of a deeper dive into the fundamentals and stuff. I have a table here that just shows me like the year-over-year performance fundamentally. You can see a lot of these are shit because it's just a quick snapshot into the fundamentals, right? I'm not using it so much and it takes up a lot of space, so I'm kind of muted. But what I will also say, like you need to see this also in relation to SpaceX, right? So SpaceX has just fallen and fallen, but now on the earnings report, they fell even more, and then momentum coming back in, and now it looks like it's going somewhere, right? So maybe you can include SpaceX in that same group, right? I think I will do that just to have them there. Probably gonna be the stock to own at some point. I'm just gonna place these where they belong. Been a while since I had gold on this on this list. And to organize the list like this, first of all, you can get a pretty good look at where's the momentum is, because the biggest list are the ones with the most strong stocks, right? When you do the scans every day and you have to manually, maintain it, but it gives you a picture of having the groups. I think it's good. And then of course I just try to go through this one and add things that I think look promising or worth monitoring extra closely on Monday. I add them on my daily watch list, and then I go from there. But now also the strategy comes into play, right? Now I want to just focus on Monday on strongest groups. So now I have to keep in mind, like, that's biotech, that's software, that's semiconductors, and maybe some from the computer hardware and stuff like that, and things related to biotech. For example, here I have it called diagnostics and research, for example. Like these are in the same type of space, you know. So they will be interesting to monitor. This has said too low dollar volume. I'm actually gonna delete it. Even though it looks good, I'm trying to stick to my strategy, because also if you're going to be successful at this and grow your account, you should already be used to your parameters, right? To like, where are your boundaries? What can you put your position size into, and stuff like that. So I don't want to adjust too much. So I'm trying to follow the same rules now, in terms of a few things at least. At some point, you of course have to adapt anyways. Look at this, for example, if AAOI pulls back down to this area, that will be interesting. Just after earnings, right? Little bit disappointed probably. It's up and pulls back and comes back up again, but maybe we could get a little bit of a resistance down to these levels, and then you want to get into it. So because of that, I will put it on the today list. And I also noticed QBTS was on my scan on Thursday. So IonQ and QBTS now. Look at the similarities in the chart. They are now on the, showing up in my scans. So historically, a good group to be in. Both are finished with their earnings. I will actually open up my my other list where I have computer hardware stocks grouped together, just to see if anyone else looks similar to them. I expect a few. RCAT looks similar, right? Also this one and this one looks similar. Rigetti. And then I will add them in, right? SMCI looks a little bit similar, right? Yeah. So I'll also add the Rigetti into there. And then you have like these three, right? So something to keep an eye on. Cecil, I'm gonna drop you from the list. Yeah, PENG is coming on the list, just because, first of all, very tight candle here, a little bit up and down on the wicks. but it's hovering around all three of these moving averages now. And you have seen this pattern a few times now, right? A bit of a, hold on, bit of a drop, coming back, bigger drop, coming back up. And then a few of them, those we have seen already, they are going like this. So it's interesting for sure. Why did I do this? And blue color on the volume bar here, that means just like in relation to the previous days, this is up a little bit, you know. Try to track momentum. So PENG is going on the list. I think I'm gonna delete this one. Looked promising for a little bit, just curious to see where it was gonna go, but then nothing happened, right? I need to, when I see this, I need to check car. Just flat since the short squeeze thing, right? But all right, so it's not moving together with Hertz then. They've had earnings and dropped. MXL looks promising. I just didn't like this last part here, but at the same time, it found perfect support on 150 EMA, and it has coming up. I kind of want to see, like, I think I will wait for this to a clear breakout instead of trying some pullback buy. So I'm not adding it on the list here, but I will watch it every day. ARM. Yeah, it is interesting. So many look so similar now. I don't want the list to be too big even, you know. If you look at, it's not a massive difference, right? So I'm already in Marvel. Laser out of the list. I was pretty happy when I managed to get the Marvel to stick, because I've been trying to get the pullback buys to work again. I've struggled a bit, and also I haven't traded so much. So, but I think that's the best. Look at Dave. Look at Dave. Oh my God, Dave was the strongest stock in town, and it's collapsing in front of our eyes. What a disaster. The earnings must have not been so good. One of my top performers as well. Yeah, no, I think the pullback buys into key moving averages on stocks that look strong are like, if I didn't mess up on Redwire also, because when I took Redwire, I was, first of all, it went directly against me, and I was monitoring it second for second, you know, to get out of it again, because I got a bit scared. In hindsight, a stupid decision, but at the time it was the right thing to do, because I was too many things were going on. I would not be able to relax if I had kept the position. but I saw just like tons of stocks at that day that I had on the list that was perfect pullback buy entries, and I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna work now on a few stocks moving forward. So you should start looking for that again, and it really has. And like I showed you previously, also if you looked at DELL, perfect pullback buy opportunity a couple of times. So that's something. That's probably what I'm going to focus the most on moving forward now. But also in a few of these names, you have like clear breakout opportunities that, of course, I will jump in on them if they happen. RXT looks good, right? This one looks very good, I think, for a potential in the direction. Only thing that is negative is that you have earnings on Tuesday, which is probably what these stocks need also to go in either direction, because a big sideways move for quite some time, holding up pretty well, you know. No volume in out this all this period has low volume, and then now it's consolidating even on a small setup here, you know, up, pulling back into the averages, getting really tight here on this candle. It's like a inside day, and then all the key moving averages here, they are almost at the same spot. So if you can get a pullback into this area, that's a perfect opportunity. However, and you also see down here that volume is coming in the last days, right? However, earnings in 2 days, and this is a high ADR stock as well, so I'm not gonna gamble on that. But it does look promising. Also in the right group. Saying that though, on the actual earnings day, you can, if it delivers, you can try to take it like a EP. This one looks good. Back on the list. Same here. Like this stock, this chart looks good in my opinion. You know, it checks a lot of the marks, but it's just like this group is only 4 stocks here, and they don't look similar to that one. Maybe this one does a little bit, you know. And just like a lack of volume. So maybe this will work. I'm just not going to focus on it, because that's one of the lessons I have learned this year, that you need to be in the right group. So yeah, that was the scan in the group. So that gave me like this daily watch list from, you know, Monday. And they are not organized in like a priority list, you know. If they are positioned at the top here or at the bottom, I don't care about it. But maybe I should start to do like the chart themes together, which in that case would be something like this. Fastly is on its own a little bit, I think. 10B probably with these guys. Then you have this one is on its own a bit. Then you have a few of these, right? Fuel cell, bit on its own. You have a few of these. Yeah, it would be something like this, right? And then it's easier also to see the similarities in charts. Look, these are all different companies, but they move pretty similar. So I'm probably gonna fuel cell. I need a clear breakout, and I don't want it from here, from these levels. You know, it's 12% up to breaking up above the line. So I need it to be positioned here before I get a clear breakout. But I need like a clear. It's very wide and loose, high ADR stock. Could be some issues, you know. You could get easily stopped on something like that. Very wide and loose. If you are not able to position yourself, you have to be a bit lucky for this to work out straight away, I think. You are, which I got in here. I got in here, so I was a bit lucky on it in the past. But it is getting a bit tighter. You can draw like this, and you can see it. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Historically, great moves, you know, when it first starts. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the list. I think I see I've spent 1 hour on the stream already. I didn't plan to, but this is the list for Monday. My original plan was to open up my universe lists, which are these ones, and just go through, you know, all the charts to see if there's something that is interesting, because I kind of want to see more groups forming, and then, you know, you can use some ETFs to look for hints of where you should look for, and aerospace and defense are one ETF that has some momentum right now, and the chart looks, you know, clear uptrend, right? So I have a few of these ETFs in our own list. Cybersecurity, one group as well, which is my main group right now. This is where I want to be in position. Yeah, look, the gold miners, look, a big gap up in the ETF, 7% on Friday. And before also, it has like 1, 2, 3 out of the last 4 days are like massive gap ups. 18% move in a short time. So we go to the gold group later and just check. I bet SSRM will be one of the good one. Entertainment looks good. Materials, same. Like we saw a few of them coming in, right? This one looks good. Big base, almost on the point of breaking out here. You know. Metals and mining, same as the gold one. Big move up. Uranium. Saw someone mentioning copper. We can check these metal ones. So let's start we find a gold one first then. A lot of them have a lower ADR number. but some great moves. And in a broader perspective, maybe this is not the group you want to see performing so well if you look in other groups, you know, because gold is usually like a safe haven. Look at SSRM. How's in it down here? But it's for sure moving, right? I wonder then how, what's the name of the one? Oh, can't even remember the name now. No, I can't remember the name now. We have been in it, both Dane and I, a couple of times. Oh well. Let's check the like I think they are called other here, metals and mining. You also have to consider, like, these last days the market also in general went up, so it kind of follows that market as well, but it's just something to pay attention to and see if things starts to form a base and consolidate a bit to levels that you are happy with, you know. Something happened, right? USEG is the name. Oh, I couldn't remember it. USEG, right? Oh, what is going on? USEG. But they are not listed anymore. Okay, probably not going too well with them then. Or they just changed the ticker. Anyways. Just want to check copper as well. Yeah, similar looking. This one is like strong, right? I think I'm gonna add some of these to the list actually. yeah, I think that's it. All in all, a promising week. I think it looks ready to break out again. I want to be positioned, like I told you, Link is orange. That's when I by far have my best performance. I want to be fully invested in this short time because it will only take a few days if this continues to switch to green. And I want to be well positioned then. I can right now afford probably one more position to add to the portfolio, unless I get stopped out on some of these, which very well may happen. Because I mean, if I'm wrong and the QQQ pulls back down again, I'm going to be stopped out for a loss on most of these, you know, probably all. And then you have to wait a little bit more, but it seems like a little bit of a switch and a change in character on probably this candle right here. This candle right here. You get the gap up, you get the volume. It's just gapping up through some of the key moving averages. It didn't follow through like you kind of wanted, but it did try, and it didn't go much further back after this action, right? So I just hope we will have a strong week now, and then you will get a clear breakout, and probably you will get more stocks showing up in the scans as well. My prediction then is like maybe like what we have talked about today, aerospace and defense will be interesting at some point. And I think the semiconductors are coming back strong because right now they look very interesting. A lot of them, they are at levels where you can buy them with a clear conscience in terms of following rules for a pullback buy and stuff like that, close to the moving averages. The entire group has moved sideways for quite a bit. And some of them you see like SITM here are breaking clearly out. So I'm not going to be surprised if you see some of these start to move again. I have to take Dave off the list as well. Sorry, Dave. But 3 days like this, you have to go out until you prove to me again that you belong here. So yeah, this is my list. These are all cybersecurity names. Then you have some computer names. Then the rest is like semiconductors. Or related. Fuel cell is energy, bit of different, and this is biotech. And once again, software, but I'm probably gonna delete fastly from here because I just struggle to. I've taken it a few times and with no luck, and right now I struggle to find an entry. My idea was to maybe take it here on a pullback, and I saw it did pull back, so I was ready, but I think this was the day I bought Redwire, so I was locked into that, and the next day I was just fully invested, and it did pull back. I think it started to go up and pull back in the day. Yeah. So I struggle a little bit with it. But cool, I have one position more I can take. I'm very happy with CrowdStrike. I'm very happy with MicroStrategy actually. If this works, I promise you I will wear my t-shirt, my sailor t-shirt in a stream soon. PANW, I wished it had shown more like clear strength here, but I'm not sure about this one. Been stopped out already one time or maybe even two. But in general, it's a strong one that I kind of want to be in if it comes. And then I was happy with my entry on Marvel, and this is probably the strategy I will try moving forward this coming week in probably most of these names, but also FTNT. I can try it, and you know, these names, ALAB, TR, maybe not so much this one. MU could come up and pull back again, you know. Yeah, this one would need a harder pullback down to here. I'm not gonna do it on the 50. PENG, yeah, all of these, except the last two ones there, are like pullback. The strategy will be pullback buys on these ones. Here it will be breakouts or pullback. You can pull back into these levels, then I will try it. The same with FTNT. I guess this one I didn't draw the line, but kind of same. At the same time, I'm a bit more hesitant. I kind of want to be in FTNT, but on the rest, or OKTA actually, one of these two is probably the most likely buys in my opinion. But I'm already in two of those names. Maybe I want one more, but that's it. And then I would prefer to be in DELL or HP, or both of them preferably, because I think they look strong. They are in a little bit of a weaker group, I guess. Both of them, but it's still related to like a lot of the computer parts and all that stuff. So. And maybe that's why they haven't taken off as well. It's just not the right groups. Could be. And that will be a lesson then. But I think the chart looks so good that it's worth taking a shot at it. So yeah, I think that's the stream for today. I think I had... I hope I had some people watching. But if you have any questions, like always, come into the Discord or send us a message in one of the channels that we have. I think Dane will be back on next weekend together with me. Yeah, I updated Discord a little bit. I now update the color of link in the Discord, so that function as I can quickly go through that. Maybe it's like what are the indicators that I look for with you know, with link and the colors, and it's actually just this one. I have programmed it so on the dark fields here are just link will turn red. And in that period, I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to do anything, because I went through my stats and it was horrible, and I would have doubled my performance if I just didn't trade in this period, which are, you know, this year from... This is the weekly chart, by the way, which is important in terms of what I'm looking for. But let's say from this candle here then to here, I shouldn't have traded anything. And also this candle here to here, I shouldn't have traded anything. But then you get some of these changes, drastic changes, which I have spotted on all of them, because this pattern here, they follow the MACD. It's like a MACD indicator that these colors are based on. So I saw that that is very accurate actually on the weekly chart. But sometimes you get like these start of these periods that you should probably trade, and these were is going to be the orange periods, right? And I tried to see if I could use something that can allow me to get alerted when things are potentially going to change. And then I added on the RSI filter up here, and you can see like when the RSI line crosses the average is on this candle down here. So that tells me then the rule is if the MACD has not yet crossed its line, so it's dark here, but the RSI have crossed its line, then it turns orange. And that would have worked perfect here. It would have worked perfect, you know, here it would alert me a little bit earlier. Here it would have alerted me and I would take on the risk and then it would reverse. And then I would be out again, but still that is what is difficult here, you know. It's not perfect, but it's worth taking the risk when you have gone back and looked at the result in the orange periods, because they are very much better than in the green periods even, which is something I need to improve on, of course. But I want to, when things turn orange, I want to be invested. So in this case, I would have been tricked and stopped out and probably lost a fair bit of the portfolio, but quickly been sold out and all cash again, right? Because it turns red. And then it comes back here and it crosses over here actually. So once again, that would have worked very well. And then you see it here also, it crosses over like kind of between these two, which was, you know, I guess I started to trade. No, sorry, this was the year before. Yeah, so never mind. And it crosses pretty, it would allow me to start to trade 1 week before it gets purple. That would have worked well. And then here also it crosses over here, which is like end of March, beginning of April, which is when I started to trade again. So that's just what it's based on, and it looks to be a pretty solid guide to follow, which that's my plan to do now. So now you can see it have a bounce up here. So now it's orange. So I'm trading again. It's very simple. So yeah, that was it for me, I think. Enjoy the weekend, rest of the weekend, and we will see you then next weekend. And I hope everyone will earn some money. Go and earn some money. All right, see ya. Bye bye.